According to rumours, Lionel Messi is facing severe backlash within the Paris Saint-Germain dressing room, with a lot of his teammates considering him a burden on the team. Things have not exactly gone to plan for the Argentine international ever since he swapped Barcelona for the Liga and Giants, and it appears that there's no end in sight for the player's many travails. Real Madrid, on the other hand, are putting Kylian Mbappe under a lot of pressure. The Spanish Giants want the Frenchman to quickly make a decision on his future and have even given him an ultimatum. We have some fresh updates on former Arsenal prodigy Jack Wilshere, who's not played competitive football in over a year. Juventus had a very forgettable start to the current campaign, but since the January transfer window, the Bianconeri have started putting in strong performances and could end the season on a very positive note. Before we get started, we want to share the sponsor of today's video. The OneFootball app is the ultimate football platform and is a must-have for every football fan, so that you can follow all of your favourite leagues, teams and players all the time right from your phone. You can be sure to turn on notifications for specific players to be instantly alerted when they score a goal or when they're involved in other breaking news. It is the best and easiest way to stay up to date with everything football. Click the link in the description down below to download the app right now. You won't regret it. With his contract at PSG expiring at the end of the season, no one knows what's going on inside the mind of the French international Kylian Mbappe. Ahead of the start of the current season, the young forward was at the heart of a power struggle between the French Giants and Real Madrid, with the latter seeing multiple big money bids rejected by the Liga and leaders. PSG have been left less than impressed by Real Madrid's advances, with Nasser Al-Khelaifi taking things personally and even admitting that the club has no working relationship with the La Liga outfit. However, this has never stopped their marquee player from dreaming about a move to Santiago Bernabeu, which is why he's never shown any inclination to sign a new deal. If we were going to make a guess, Mbappe is likely to leave PSG this summer. However, the runaway league leaders are willing to make Mbappe the best paid player on the planet, offering him a wage of about €1 million a week. The latest offer has given Madrid a proverbial wedgie, and the Spanish outfit have now given the player an ultimatum. Real Madrid have told the player through his entourage that if he decides to go back on his verbal agreement and sign an extension with the French Giants, he will never play for Los Blancos in the future. Madrid are aware that they can't compete with the financial might of the Qatari-backed club, but don't want to put themselves out there and be used as pawns. Let's see how this one pans out, but we still believe that Mbappe will reject the latest contract offer and will move to Spain. Back in October last year, Juventus had only 15 points on the table and had just lost 2-1 to Sassuolo. A few days back, they were held to a 1-1 draw by bitter rivals Torino in a game where they did not show any signs befitting a team that claims to dominate the biggest names in European football. However, if we look past the result in Turin, Massimiliano Allegri's team has regained a certain solidity and is once again a team that is not easy to beat. They've rediscovered their defensive rigour and are in 4th place in the league standings. Since November 30th, they've won 10, drawn 5 and lost only once. Of course, they're far from being guaranteed a place in the next edition of the Champions League, but they're still ahead of the 5th placed Atalanta, who trail them by 3 points. All this happened due to some great activity in the transfer market that oversaw the arrivals of Denis Zakaria and Dusan Vlahovic. The Serb has cost the club €80 million, and while he isn't expected to become a deadly hitman right away, he's going to come up with the goods every now and then. Juventus are slowly sorting out their finances as well, which bodes well for the future. Paulo Dybala is back in the thick of things as well. The Argentine forward has been decisive 6 out of his last 8 outings. Yeah, the uncertainty around his future reigns supreme, but the current level he's playing at means that the 28-year-old might want to carry it on next season as well. A young crop of players is ready to carry the club for years to come, with Manuel Locatelli, Federico Chiesa, Caio Jorge, Weston McKennie, Luca Pellegrini and Matthijs de Ligt enjoying fine form since the turn of the year. That's it everyone, Juventus are back for good, and we suspect them to be even better next season in Italy and beyond. After experiencing unemployment and coming close to depression, Jack Wilshere lived through a testing period. His situation has changed as the England international has just signed in Denmark with Aarhus GF and has the will to leave all the suffering behind him. The news was surprising, but it must have cheered up most people. 30-year-old English midfielder Jack Wilshere has finally found a club, and the Arsenal Academy graduate will finally experience life outside England, an experience that happens at the best of times for him. Indeed, at the beginning of the year, he spoke at length about his personal situation. Despite the fact that he maintains a certain lifestyle and that he's got a nice CV, the England international couldn't find a single club. Close to depression and seriously considering the possibility of retiring, the midfielder opened up on his suffering. Wilshere has not played a single competitive game since May 17, 2021, which was when he was released by Bournemouth. The midfielder, who will wear the number 10 shirt, deserves a fresh start and admits that he's found it difficult to find a way around his reputation of a fragile player. Indeed, throughout his career, Wilshere has missed 224 matches through injury. Wilshere admits that he made a lot of mistakes at the start of his career, where he continued to play football without taking any breaks, even though Arsenal's physiotherapists told him not to. However, it's now a fresh start for Wilshere. Obviously, he's never going to realise his true potential that once made him such a hot prospect a decade ago, but as long as he continues to play the game and ends his playing career on his terms. According to the Portuguese newspaper Record, the Court of Arbitration for Sport, CAS, trained at Sporting, the player terminated his contract with the Portuguese club to join Lille in August 2018. The CAS initially ordered the 22-year-old Portuguese to pay €16.5 million to the Lisbon club, but ultimately the body based in Switzerland reported that the Mastiffs are responsible for the payment of compensation in the amount of approximately €20 million with interest. For Messi these days, it doesn't rain, it pours. The Argentine international isn't exactly having a ball at PSG and hasn't scored as freely for them as most would have hoped. He has only 2 Ligue 1 goals in 16 games since leaving Barcelona for PSG, and experienced yet another frustrating outing as the club slumped to a shocking 3-1 defeat to Nantes over the weekend. While he did win a 7th Ballon d'Or title in November last year, Messi's unhappy in France and has struggled to settle in to the new surroundings. During the first leg of the Champions League round of 16 clash against Real Madrid, the veteran forward saw his penalty saved by Thibaut Courtois, and his blushes were saved by a Kylian Mbappe winner in the last minute of the game. While he's still shown flashes of brilliance every time he plays, Messi's definitely not at the peak of his powers that made him such a legendary player at Camp Nou. And it appears that the feeling within the PSG dressing room is that of disdain, with a lot of his teammates not happy with the way the player acts on the field. The 34-year-old has clearly shown an aversion towards defensive work rate and can be rarely seen tracking back every time he loses the ball. In fact, Danilo Pereira was angry at Messi for his lack of effort, with former winger Jerome Roten also highly critical of the legendary player. Roten has explained of the Argentine superstar, "He is a burden for the club. His first months have not been good, and the relationship between Messi and PSG has been far from a success. This transfer was a bad idea. He is the best player, perhaps of all generations, that football has known. Still, I'm sick of hearing people say you can't criticise Messi." Meanwhile, Sergio Aguero has been his good friend's staunch supporter and even revealed that he was scheduled to have an interview with a French newspaper but decided against it due to the French media's treatment of Messi. Regardless, Messi has not been performing at his peak at PSG, and if you look at his off-the-ball contributions, you can understand the frustration of his teammates. It is clear that not everyone at the club is pulling in the same direction, and that might end up having a serious impact on the club's chances of finally becoming European champions.